Muted.
My name is Michael Coldesina, and I'm the Manager of Travel Industry Accounts with Sports Travel and Tours. I'd like to thank all of you for taking a little bit of time out of your evening to join us. We've got an exciting program that we're going to get underway here in just a minute. A couple of housekeeping items, though, before we start. First, if you've called in and are using your phone for the audio, or if you're using audio through your desktop or laptop computer, the phone or the microphone has automatically been muted, so you don't have to worry about inadvertently disturbing the presentation. Second, we will be answering questions, and the way we will be doing this is in the GoToWebinar module that popped up, there's a question tab. You can type in your question at any point in time during the presentation, and then at the end of the presentation, we will be answering all the questions. So I think we're ready to start, so let's go ahead and move forward. For those of you that maybe are not familiar with Sports Travel and Tours, who we are and what we do, we celebrated our 20th anniversary this past October. For now entering our 21st year, we've been offering fan travel packages to games and events all over North America and to select international events as well. We're probably best known for our baseball road trips, pro and college football gridiron getaways, Hall of Fame travel packages, and the many classic events that we offer, such as the Kentucky Derby, U.S. Open, and the Masters. Our experience and attention to detail and customer focus have enabled us to have a return guest rate that is constantly high. We've also partnered with great people and organizations such as the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum, which allow us to offer many exclusive features to select tours and packages. Baseball road trips is really what started this company off over 20 years ago, and it's probably what we're best known for, so we're going to start there. These are hosted tours anywhere between 3 and 11 days in length. They travel the U.S. and Canada, seeing major league games and major league parks. Along the way, we try to visit museums, historical points of interest, local attractions, and wherever possible, we try to include guided tours of the ballparks we're visiting. We also allow independent leisure time so you can explore a city on your own. Baseball fans keep choosing Sports Travel and Tours over the years because of the quality and detail and experience that go into our trips. We offer our trips so that you have the opportunity to see great games and great seats, stay in hotels that are centrally located, so you can use some of the leisure time to explore a city and its surroundings. Most of our trips are point-to-point, so you don't waste time doubling back, which means less time driving and more time seeing and doing. This year, we are offering 15 different baseball road trips covering 28 major league stadiums and 3 minor league stadiums. We're going to start out with a couple trips on the West Coast. We have our Northerner, which is a 6-day, 5-night trip with 4 games in Oakland, San Francisco, and Seattle. The Northerner includes a behind-the-scenes tour of AT&T Park in San Francisco, a visit to Seattle's Space Needle, and city tours both in San Francisco and Seattle. Our SoCal Plus covers 4 games in Phoenix, San Diego, Anaheim, and Los Angeles over a 7-day, 6-night period. The trip kicks off with dinner at the famous Rustler's Roost Steakhouse, situated high on a butte overlooking Tempe, Arizona. The trip's packed with activities such as a stadium tour of Chase Field in Phoenix, leisure time in San Diego's historic Gaslamp District, and your choice of a day trip to Catalina Island or Disneyland. Moving on to our 3-bagger, this is a 6-day, 5-night trip with 4 games in Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and Philadelphia. It includes a stadium tour of PNC Park, city tours of Pittsburgh, and also a visit to the Liberty Bell and National Constitution Center in Philadelphia. Our Mid-Atlantic Plus covers 4 games in New York City, Philadelphia, Baltimore, and Washington, D.C. during 7 days and 6 nights. The Mid-Atlantic Plus also has a unique feature that is only offered on a few programs each year, and that's our Ump's Eye View. If an umpire could steal the show in a major league game, Al Clark might have been the one to do it. During his 26 seasons as a professional umpire, he officiated at Nolan Ryan's 300th win, Cal Ripken's record breaker, and the Earthquake World Series in 1989, just to name a few different things. We have a special guest here tonight, and that is Al Clark, so I'm going to turn the time over to Al, and he's going to give you a little bit more information on what our Ump's Eye View program is, what that means to you as a baseball fan, and some of the things that you might be able to expect. Al, take the floor.
Thank you, Michael. It's a pleasure to be here with you tonight. I would love to tell your listeners a little bit about what we do in our Ump's Eye View program. I partnered with Sports Travel and Tours about 20 years ago, literally, and we offer to the travelers, to the baseball fans, a brand new, unique look at the game that we all love, the game that we've known since we were children, and that is the view of baseball from an umpire's viewpoint. And it is different. It is very different. We look at different things. You will realize, you will come to learn that umpires really are not baseball fans. We don't care who wins and who loses. If you're a baseball fan, you usually have a vested interest in the players, the teams, that kind of thing. You care who wins and who loses. Umpires, I am a fan of baseball, not a baseball fan. I just think our game, the best game in the world, is the best game that's ever been invented. And I explain it to our travelers in a way that I'm sure they've never heard before. I was on a baseball field, on a major league field for 26 years, and in organized baseball for 30. And the things that we talk about, the questions and answers that we have, it just creates and presents a very, very unique experience for our travelers. Michael?
Al, thank you very much, and we'll hear from Al a little bit later in the presentation because we do have a number of other opportunities for the Ump's Eye View in programs that we're offering in 2017. But let's move forward now to the Windy City Plus. This is a 5-day, 4-night trip featuring 3 games in Chicago, Milwaukee, and Minneapolis. We kicked the trip off with a reception at Harry Carey's Italian Steakhouse, named after the late Cubs Hall of Fame broadcaster. We also include a behind-the-scenes tour of Wrigley Field and tours of Chicago and Milwaukee. Our Central Express is actually an extended version of the Windy City Plus, so it adds a second game in Minnesota, as well as games in Kansas City, St. Louis, and a visit to St. Louis's Gateway Arch. Our Lakes Plus trip is well on its way to being this year's most popular trip. It's more than half full. In fact, it's close to selling out. 5 games in Toronto, Detroit, Cleveland, Cincinnati, and Pittsburgh, with a number of great sites and attractions, including the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame in St. Mary's, Ontario, a behind-the-scenes tour of the Rogers Centre, home of the Blue Jays, and a trip to the top of the CN Tower, which is the tallest freestanding structure in the Western Hemisphere. Our New and Old offers 4 games in Atlanta and Chicago and highlights baseball's oldest and newest ballparks. Wrigley Field is the oldest major league park in use since 1914 and home of the Cubs since 1916, and SunTrust Park outside of Atlanta is opening in April of this year. If you want to see some of the greatest living players who played the game, the Classic Plus is the trip for you. 6 days, 5 nights, including 2 major league games and the National Baseball Hall of Fame Classic over Memorial Day. Mets and Yankees game bookend this trip, and then 2 days in Cooperstown, like I said, over Memorial Day weekend. Dozens of Hall of Famers return to the birthplace of baseball to take part in a home run derby and a Hall of Fame Classic game. Another trip that combines history with our present day is our Triple Play. This is a 5-day, 4-night trip, 3 games in Boston and New York City, plus spend a day in Cooperstown at the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum. Now, here's 2 more trips that include the Ump's Eye View, and they also include Induction Weekend in July in Cooperstown. So for many fans, Induction Weekend is really the pinnacle of baseball events, and we have these 2 trips this year. Our Induction Plus is 6 days, 5 nights, and features 2 games in New York and Boston, plus Induction Weekend. And then our Houston Induction Special is geared to Astros fans that have been eagerly awaiting the induction of Astros great Jeff Bagwell. It's a 7-day, 6-night trip featuring 2 Astros games in Philadelphia and a Yankees game in New York. And then the trip culminates with the Induction Weekend. And then lastly, we have our triple header. This is another trip that highlights Major League Baseball's newest ballpark, SunTrust Park in Atlanta. It's a 6-day, 5-night trip with 3 games in Atlanta, Baltimore, and Washington, D.C. And then lastly, our Texas Two-Step High, 6 days, 5 nights, 4 games in Houston, Arlington, and Denver. And one thing I want to point out, on a couple of the trips, you'll notice there's this little airplane icon, both here for the triple header and the Texas two-step high. This means that there are flights that are included in the price of your trip. Wherever we have distances between cities that are more than about a 6-hour motor coach drive, we try to include flights instead of a motor coach section, because, face it, nobody wants to spend all day on a motor coach. So we want to try to make the travel as seamless as possible. A little over 14 years ago, we found through customer surveys that the majority of people that traveled with us on our baseball programs had a desire to see all 30 major league stadiums at some point during their life. So we put together our Stadium Hall of Fame. The first time you travel with us, we send out a passport to baseball. Kind of looks like a U.S. passport, has a page for each major league stadium. Each time you travel with us and go to a new stadium, you receive a sticker for your passport that'll have the date of the game and who was playing. When you've been to all 30 major league stadiums, we invite you to Cooperstown, Hall of Fame weekend in July, and we hold an induction ceremony. You'll receive a plaque with your name on it. You'll get an opportunity to give an acceptance speech, and then your bio will be forever listed in the Baseball Hall of Fame. If you go to the Baseball Hall of Fame tomorrow, go to the front desk and ask to see the Stadium Hall of Fame book, you'll see a bio for every member of the Stadium Hall of Fame. The picture in the lower right-hand corner was our last induction class, which was 2013. 39 new individuals were inducted. And this year, 2017, is our next induction class. We don't have the exact numbers yet, but it's well over 50 and probably going to be closer to 75 by the time everything is said and done. We have a number of people that only have a couple of stadiums left, so they're working out which trips will complete their 30 stadium list, and we're excited to be able to host them come July induction weekend. So it's still not too late to book a spring training package. We're going to start off with Florida. Prices start $9.25 per person based on double occupancy for a 5-day, 4-night package. Most of our guests stay 5 days and take in at least 2 to 3 games. But we can offer packages with as many number of games or nights as you're looking for. The Tampa, St. Petersburg area is probably our most popular Florida spring training destination, mainly because of the number of teams that train in close proximity. You've got the Yankees, Blue Jays, Tigers, Phillies, Pirates, and Orioles that all have spring training facilities that are no more than about 60 miles from the Tampa International Airport. However, nothing beats Arizona if you're a spring training fan. 15 teams train in the greater Phoenix area. They're all within about a 45-50-minute drive of Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport, and no two teams are more than an hour apart. Plus, you can't beat the Great Southwest for winter weather or scenic natural beauty. Each year, in late July, tens of thousands of people descend upon the tiny hamlet of Cooperstown, New York, to see baseball's greatest players honored by the National Baseball Hall of Fame. This summer, Tim Raines, Jeff Bagwell, Ivan Rodriguez will be inducted into the Hall of Fame. We're offering 5 different packages, plus the 2 baseball road trips that we previously went over for induction weekend this summer. Now, the packages all have a number of things in common that are included, so I'll go into detail with this base package, which is called our base head, and then point out in the subsequent packages some of the additional features. So all of our packages are going to include these details: daily breakfast, round-trip airport transfers, round-trip motor coach event transfers from the hotel into Cooperstown, a welcome dinner reception, both a Hall of Fame, unlimited Hall of Fame admission, which comes because of the Hall of Fame membership that we're including in the package. This is important for a couple of different reasons. And we are the official licensed travel partner of the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown. So when you're there during induction weekend and there may be a line 100 deep to get into the Hall of Fame, you don't have to wait in that line. You're going to have a lanyard, and the Hall of Fame recognizes that since we're their official travel partner. You can either go in the VIP entrance and just flash your lanyard, or my tip of the day is always to go into the library entrance, which is around the left side of the building. Never a line. You just flash your lanyard, walk right in, and you're ready to go. Also, all of the packages include reserved seating for the induction ceremony on Sunday. Includes viewing of the Hall of Fame awards presentation on Saturday afternoon, which is the awards they give out for print and broadcast journalism, and then also the Parade of Legends, Parade of Legends is probably one of my favorite events that weekend. That's when all of the returning Hall of Famers parade down Main Street in open air vehicles, and then stopping at the Hall of Fame, getting out, waving to the crowd, and then going into the Hall of Fame. Also includes a box meal on Induction Sunday, and of course all of these are hosted trips, so you will have at least one host for each of these different trips that will either be with you or always be a cell phone call away. And then on Saturday and Sunday, we do have a tent on Main Street that's always staffed by a number of Sports Travel and Tours employees. So if there's ever a question, you either have a host's phone number to reach, or you can always pop down Main Street in front of Doubleday Field and ask us a question personally. Okay, moving into the extra innings package. This is just like the base hit, but it adds an additional night hotel, an additional day in Cooperstown. One thing I'll point out, most all of our packages are based in Albany, New York. It's about 65 miles from Cooperstown, about an hour and 15-minute motor coach ride. We do that for a couple of reasons. Cooperstown, as I mentioned, refers to it as the village of Cooperstown. It is very tiny. There are not a lot of hotel rooms in the immediate area, and what hotel space is there is usually booked a year in advance by Major League Baseball. Albany is the closest major airport. It also has Amtrak connections from New York City, just about a 2.5-hour train ride from Penn Station up to Albany. So our extra innings adds that extra day and night. On Monday is the Legends of the Game Roundtable. This is a question and answer session hosted by a moderator that includes the class of 2017. Now we're going to move into our infield package, and this is where the Umps Eye View Sports Talk comes back into play. So the main difference between the base hit and the infield are going to be upgraded hotel. We're at the Albany Marriott versus the Hampton Inn. The reserved seating for the induction ceremony is in the VIP section as opposed to the general admission area, and I will explain how the seating differs. So on our infield package and the next two packages we're going to be looking at, seating is in the VIP section. So this is going to be the section behind the friends and family of the inductees, dignitaries of the National Baseball Hall of Fame, Major League Baseball, the press, and then immediately behind the VIP section is where we set up seating in the general admission area for the rest of our packages, for the base hit and for the extra innings package. The other thing that we add here, as I mentioned, after the dinner reception on Friday evening, is the Umps Eye View Sports Talk. So I'm going to turn the time back over to Al, where he can give you a little bit of information on what will happen with the Umps Eye View Sports Talk, and also opportunities that weekend to find out a little bit more in-depth information and have more of a one-on-one experience with Al.
Thanks, Michael. On Friday evening, to all you baseball fans, and my goodness gracious, the ultimate, the culmination of baseball fans' weekend is in Cooperstown. And what we do on Friday night, before you get to Cooperstown on Saturday, is we have one heck of a baseball talk. I get up there and I introduce you to baseball, like I said, from an ump's eye view. The stories that we tell are unlike stories of executives or from executives, players, coaches, or managers. We see things differently, we tell stories differently, and it's a lot of fun if you're a baseball fan. There's so many more things that go on the field that the writers, telecasters, and broadcasters are not privy to, that only the players and the umpires are, and I expose a whole heck of a lot of it. And it turns out to be about an hour and 15 minutes of a lot of fun. Stories, questions, and answers, lots and lots of laughs, and a couple of surprises. So we have one heck of a good time. Then, coupled with a couple of other things, that's the big dinner. Probably 500, 600, 700 people are in attendance. We have the opportunity to have breakfast or lunch in a limited number of folks with myself, and I go into a little more in-depth about what it's like to be a Major League umpire, what it takes to get to the Major Leagues, some of the pitfalls, some of the problems, some of the things that go on off the field, what it takes to actually get there, going to umpire school, going through the minor leagues. And if you're a baseball fan, it's all quite intriguing. Michael?
Al, thanks. That was great. And so remember, this is the infield package, and then the next two packages that we will be discussing for Induction Weekend all feature the Ump's Eye View Sports Talk. Moving into our home run package, this adds an additional night from the infield, so it'll be arriving Friday, departing on Monday. In addition to all of the features that the infield package included, this also adds the Baseball Hall of Fame Artifact Spotlight. This is a program that we offer, or I should say that the National Baseball Hall of Fame offers, where you'll be meeting with one of the curators for the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum. They'll bring out a number of artifacts that are either part of the permanent collection but not permanent display collection, and some of the artifacts might also be on loan from particular players. Often during Induction Weekend, when we do the Artifact Spotlight, they have artifacts from the players that are being inducted that year. So it's always exciting to see what artifacts will be there. They give a detailed description of what the artifact is, some of the interesting anecdotes or history of that particular artifact, and you can see it up close and personal. They bring the artifacts around so that you're no more than a foot from whatever that is, whether it's a baseball, maybe it's a glove, maybe it's a set of cleats, maybe it's a jersey. It could be a number of different things. We've seen scorecards from games that had a particular history to them. So it's a very great experience. It's about 45-50 minutes in a small group setting, no more than about 45 to 50 people. Also, the home run package, for each person on the package, you get your choice of autographed baseball from one of the inductees. And then our Grand Slam package, identical to the home run, but a key difference here is that instead of being in Albany, the hotel is in Oneonta, New York, which is only about 30 minutes from Cooperstown. So less time going back and forth means a little bit more time exploring the village of Cooperstown and exploring the Baseball Hall of Fame. This does have the Ump's Eye View, but it does not have it on the Friday evening. It's going to have it on the Saturday evening. All right, there's one more trip that we want to discuss, and this is our spring training cruise tour. We do have one that's going just a couple of weeks, but we're promoting our 2018 cruise already. It's a 3-night Bahama cruise with 2 nights in Orlando featuring 2 spring training games. Schedules obviously aren't out for 2018, so we don't know which games will be offered, but there'll be games that are close to Orlando, maybe in the Tampa area, maybe somewhere close by. But it also features the Ump's Eye View with Al Clark. So I'm going to turn the time back over to Al, and Al can give you a little bit of detail on this great program that combines spring training baseball with a Bahamas cruise and just relaxing on a cruise ship and hearing about our favorite game.
Thanks, Michael. And I got to tell you, I was in baseball for 30 years, and 26 of them in the big leagues, and except for September baseball and postseason October baseball, the best time of the year is spring training. A whole month in Florida or Arizona, up close and personal with a lot of players. Ballparks are a whole lot, smaller, more intimate, and oh my goodness gracious, you get to see not only the big league players, but some of the up-and-coming minor league players that you will see in the big leagues, if not in 2017 or 18, certainly in the near future after that. On the cruise, we are going to talk about baseball from the time you check in until, well, we get off the cruise, and then we go to a couple of baseball games together. And it's going to be a lot of fun. It's all baseball. It's all Florida. It's all a lot of fun. And boy, if you can, come on and join us. It's just the best time of year.
I couldn't agree with you more. I love spring training. Just the atmosphere is different. It's much more intimate, and something about being especially if you're from a cold weather destination and you can escape for a few days to either Florida or Arizona, It's an incredible feeling to know that you're cheating your friends off of the cold weather and the snow that they're experiencing back home, and you're enjoying baseball in a great time of year in a great area. So that is our presentation. Now I know we've got a few questions that have come in, so let me pull up the question module. Please take down my contact information if you have any questions that you might want to ask at a later date. Feel free to email or to give me a call. I think the only thing that's missing is my extension. I am at extension 318. And let's see, okay, so the first question we have is asking about additional nights on any of the baseball road trips. So on all of the baseball road trips, you do have the ability to either come in a few days early or stay a couple of days later, or both. Both if you have our 2017 brochure, or if you go to the website, it should give pricing not just for the trip itself, but for additional nights, either at the front end of the trip or the back end of the trip. Next question that has come in is about can I go over the seating again for the induction ceremony? So all of the packages do include reserved seating. The base hit, which was the first package we went over, and the extra innings, which was the second package we went over, they have reserved seating that we set up in the general admission area. As you may know or may not know, attending the Baseball Hall of Fame induction, it's free. Anyone can go, but you've got to bring something to sit on, whether it's a chair or a blanket. You've got to deal with the parking. That's why it's so much easier to take all the guesswork out of it and travel with us. The bus takes you right to the front doorstep of the Hall of Fame. You don't have to worry about finding a parking spot. On Induction Sunday, we take you right to the induction site. Very minimal walking. You don't have to worry about taking shuttle buses from the parking lot. But on the infield, home run, and grand slam packages, we offer reserved seating within the VIP section. So we're going to be in the section behind the Hall of Fame dignitaries, baseball dignitaries, friends and family of the players that are being inducted. So we're in that section behind those people. So that gives you a kind of a better sense of where the different seating options are. The important thing, though, is you don't have to worry about bringing a blanket to sit on or bringing a chair. Those are all provided. Let's see, next question. Someone is asking about how soon can they book for future years Hall of Fame inductions. They were specifically asking about 2020 for Derek Jeter. The answer is we are taking fully refundable deposits now to hold your space, whether it's 2019, or I should say 2018, 19, 20. We even have people on deposit for 2021 at this point. The $200 deposit, as I said, is fully refundable. It basically kind of holds your space in line. When our packages for that year are ready to be released, we contact everyone, give them the details. They can pick which package they want, and then at that point they would just need to put down the difference in price between $200 per person and 50% of the price, with the balance being due 90 days prior to the trip's departure, which is usually towards the end of April. For example, for the 2018 packages, we expect they'll be released in end of October, beginning of November of this year. The deposits can be contingent on a particular player being inducted. So I'll give you the example of Trevor Hoffman. This was, I believe, his second year of eligibility. We had people that had put money down 2 or 3 years ago. When the first year of his eligibility, when he didn't quite make it, people had the option of either rolling over the money for 2016 or getting a refund. So you always have that option. All right, let's see. Next question. What were the different opportunities for the UMSI View? So we have 3 baseball road trips. We have the Mid-Atlantic Plus, and then we have, which basically covers, I believe, Philly, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., and then we have the 2 trips that cover the induction. We have the Induction Plus, which does Boston and New York with the induction weekend in the middle, and then we have the Houston Induction Special, which is two games, two Astros games in Philadelphia, Yankees game in New York, and then ending with Induction weekend in Cooperstown. And then we have 3 different packages for the Induction weekend. We have the infield, the home run, and the grand slam package that feature the Umpside View program. And then we have our spring training cruise tour for 2018. All right, let's see, I think we've got one more question that has come in, and that is when, hold on, can't quite read this here, let me check that again. Oh, okay, so do we have packages for the All-Star game? And yes, we do. We have a 5-day package and a 3-day package. The 3-day package is basically 2 nights hotel, tickets to the Tuesday All-Star game, car rental, and just the basics. Oh, and admission to All-Star Fan Fest. The 5-day package includes all that, plus it includes the All-Star workout and home run derby on the Monday night, and on the Sunday it includes All-Star, the All-Star Futures game, which is the, it's the AAA League All-Star game that pits the best U.S. stars versus the best international players, and then they have a celebrity game that pits celebrities and former major league players playing a 6-inning softball game against each other. So those packages are available to book now on our website. That looks like all the questions that have come in, so I would like to especially thank Al Clark for joining us this evening, and thank all of you for taking a little time out of your evening. I know depending on where you are in the country, it's either 9:30 at night or 6:30, or if you're calling from, I guess, Alaska or Hawaii, it's maybe still the afternoon. But thanks for taking time out of your day, and please let me know if there's any way I can assist you with any questions that you might have. Have a good evening, and thank you.